Hi, I'm Selima Harleston Lust from Iwilla Remedy, where we teach you how to turn your health issues into non-issues. And most issues start on the inside, in our mental and emotional spaces, before they ever turn into a physical condition or disease. So that's why we're talking today about triggers. What is a trigger? In my view, a trigger is a heightened emotional response. We're not labeling or judging the trigger, but in most cases, our heightened emotional response to the present situation is just not congruent with the circumstances. Our reaction doesn't make sense given what's happening in the present moment. If you remember the board game Operation, then you can think of triggers as that buzz that's happening when in the Operation game when the metal tweezers touch the rim. Bzzz. Triggers are when we feel that emotional buzzing inside. A tender spot has been hit within us, and it can be minor and quick, or it can be extreme and prolonged. So why do triggers happen? In many cases, a trigger is an unconscious, almost automatic reaction to a present-day situation because it reminds us of something that's happening or has happened to us in the past. Maybe it was something traumatic, maybe it was an unmet need or past pain. Triggers have a remarkable way of almost teleporting us back into the past. And even though we are physically standing right here, right now, the circumstances bring our minds and our consciousness to that past experience, and we respond today as if it were happening all over again. What does a trigger feel like? Shut down, panic, like the walls are closing in, trapped, terror, unsafe, angry, ashamed, fearful. A trigger can feel like anything to you. And every trigger feels differently because it depends on the memory that's being reignited or that tender spot that's being poked. So here's what you can do when you're triggered. Number one, breathe. Turn your attention to your breath. While your mind processes information nonstop, when you're focusing, you can only focus on one thing at a time. And when you focus on your breath, your inhales, your exhales, you're telling your mind to be here, to be now, to be in the now. You can't be here and in the past at the same time. So practice with me. As you inhale, say to yourself, I am the balanced breath in. As you exhale, say to yourself, I am the balanced breath out. Do this 10 times. Deep, focused breathing has a twofold benefit. It gets you back into a parasympathetic state of calm and relaxation, and it brings your attention to the present moment, which in most cases is safe. Number two, affirm. I'm a big believer in self-talk. The most important relationship you have is the one you have with yourself. The conversations you have between you and you are paramount. What you think about, you bring about. And in many cases, a trigger is highlighting a pain point, maybe an insecurity, a wound, and accompanying the trigger are all of those old records that used to play about maybe you being weak, not good enough, dumb, helpless, a bad person. The trigger brings you back to the past, and you can start identifying with that wounded part of yourself again, or you can affirm what you know to be true about yourself now. You can affirm, proclaim, and celebrate yourself, your life, your circumstances now instead of playing those old records. Practice with me. Say aloud, I am joyful. I am whole. I am courageous. I am abundant. I am loved. I am safe. I am funny. I am smart. I am healthy. I am resourceful. Solutions abound. I'm supported. I feel good in my body right now. I can always find something to smile about. They don't have to be complicated or that deep. And all you're doing with this exercise is speaking life into yourself, speaking to yourself in a kinder way and changing the record. Just like you would skip to the next song on Spotify if you didn't like it, you're skipping the Poor Me records that the trigger brought up. And in doing so, you start to feel incrementally better. Try it, affirm yourself, think of things to be grateful for 60 seconds straight, and I know you'll feel better. And then number three, speak, talk. Use your voice to talk about what is happening with you right now. Up to this point, you've reconnected with your breath, you've taken over the record player in your head, This can take seconds or minutes, or maybe you need to step away, and that's okay. Now, for some people, when they are triggered, they talk more. They throw blame or they yell as a defense mechanism. For others, like myself, shut down, go silent. Wherever you are on the spectrum, your instruction to speak at this step is about being deliberate with your words as a means of processing and deactivating the trigger and healing the wounds. If you snapped at your partner or child because you were triggered, you owe them an apology. Go the extra step and share what was coming up for you that was triggering. Allow yourself to be vulnerable and share, because this is how compassion, understanding, and acceptance grows between people. You are the only person who lives inside of your experiences. And when we communicate to others, what happened and where we got teleported to in our memories, it gives them a chance to be more mindful of your tender spots. And speaking for us about what happened to the people we're interacting with or to others, it gives us the chance to process and start to release what we've been carrying. We may not even be fully aware of what the triggering circumstance reminds us of, but that visceral reaction gives us valuable information that there's something that you need to work on. Triggers aren't bad. They're information and they're instructional. Triggers are a gift because they can reactivate something within you that needs your attention. So don't dismiss your triggers or think of them as a nuisance or not important, because they have the power to illuminate a path for you. When you return to your center from a trigger, take that time to think about the situation, reflect on what happened, where did it bring you, what it is that you need to work on. The answer is really always right there. Meditation helps us listen in for it. Triggers can point you to, one, your pain. You're hurting because it's a wound within yourself that is begging for healing. If you've been working on an issue in your life for a while and it still feels like you're being triggered, that just means it still stings. You still hurt, that's okay. Triggers can also point to your distractions. Maybe you got all riled up about somebody else's business, not your own. And a trigger can be a signal for you to get back into your emotional lane. Think your own thoughts and feel your own feelings. And number 3, a trigger can also point you to your purpose. You're passionate about something because it's a problem that you deeply desire to find a solution for and contribute in the best of ways towards improving it. The injustices that you see out in the world, maybe you feel so strongly about it because it's your public work. Everything in your life is an invitation, especially triggers. And when life is inviting you to heal, it's going to tap dance on those triggers all the time. You'll miss your medicine when you ignore the invitation of your triggers. You can do this. So in the comments below, let me know how you overcome your triggers. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to like and subscribe. See you next time.